The road creates a rhythm, a hum. It is a lullaby, really, if you let yourself listen to it. Occasionally, the rhythm is broken. A dull thud against the rear seats. A muffled vibration that travels through the chassis and tickles the soles of my feet. Most people would interpret that sound as panic. They would call it resistance. They would imagine a girl in the darkness of a trunk, kicking against the latch, screaming into felt and spare tires. They would say, "I have stolen something." But you cannot steal what was already discarded. I looked at her life before I intervened. I watched the way she moved through the world, unguarded, unappreciated, leaving herself open like a door left ajar in a storm. The world treats beautiful things with such carelessness. It leaves them out in the rain. It lets them rust. If you see a rare painting leaning against a trash can, and you pick it up to take it home, to put it in a climate-controlled room where it will be safe, is that theft? Or is that rescue? The thumping starts again, louder this time. I turn up the radio. Not to drown her out. I'm not cruel, but to give her the privacy to work through her confusion. She doesn't understand yet. She thinks in terms of freedom and captivity. She thinks the darkness back there is a prison. She doesn't realize that I have given her the greatest gift a person can receive. I have removed the burden of choice. Out there, she was drowning in noise, expectations, appointments, the messy, sprawling chaos of autonomy. In the dark, constrained space I have provided, she is finally the center of the universe. She is the sole focus of my attention, and attention is the only currency that matters. People say you cannot just take what you want. They speak of permission, but nature does not ask for permission. The hawk does not ask the field mouse if it would like to be elevated. The tide does not ask the sand if it wishes to be moved. Authority belongs to the one with the will to act. She kicks again, a frantic, rhythmic drumming. Let her kick. Let her burn out that old energy, the fear taught to her by a society that didn't deserve her. When the car stops and the lid opens and the light comes back in, she will see. I haven't taken her life away. I have simply curated it. The pavement transitions to dirt, and the hum of the tires becomes a satisfying, rhythmic crunch. Gravel against the undercarriage. It is a harsher sound than the asphalt's drone, less of a lullaby and more of an awakening. We are leaving the grid, leaving the geography of compromise and the messy intersections of civilization. A lesser mind would call this isolation, but civilization is just a series of poorly managed intersections, a crowded room where everyone is shouting and no one is listening. I am not taking her away from anything of value. I am merely simplifying her coordinates. I wonder if she can feel the change in the road. Does the rougher terrain signal the end of her old life? Or is she still clinging to the hope of a detour? People are remarkably stubborn when it comes to their own misery. They fight tooth and nail to return to the variables that exploit them. The job that exhausts them, the partner who ignores them, the society that commodifies them. They call it fighting for their life. But really, they are just fighting for their familiar discomfort. I am taking her somewhere entirely unfamiliar, but mathematically perfect. Think about a raw mineral. When you find it in the earth, it is surrounded by dirt, pressure, and chaos. Do you leave it there out of respect for its autonomy? Of course not. You extract it. You cut away the useless facets. You place it on a pedestal under a single, perfect light. Isolation is the prerequisite for appreciation. I spent 6 months preparing the room. Most men buy flowers or memorize a poem to show devotion. I poured concrete. I installed high-density soundproofing and engineered an environment where she will never have to experience the jarring, abrasive friction of the outside world again. The walls are a soft, neutral grey, a canvas for the mind. People misunderstand containment. They think walls are designed to keep things in. That is a fundamental misreading of geometry. Walls are designed to keep the irrelevant out. The lighting is diffused, designed to mimic the exact wavelength of a cloudless late afternoon, a perpetual golden hour. Why settle for the sun's unpredictable transit when you can manufacture permanence? There are no clocks. Clocks are the ultimate dictators, carving our existence into arbitrary, frantic slices. There are no mirrors. Mirrors encourage vanity, a symptom of insecurity born from the gaze of others. Without others, there is no need for a reflection. She will only need to look at me to know her value. My observation is the mirror. There are no windows, for windows are compromises. An admission that you still care about the weather or the meaningless rotation of the earth. The thumping has stopped entirely. Good. Perhaps she is resting. Or perhaps, on some subconscious level, she is beginning to understand the profound peace of surrender. A lesser mind would use words like despair, but they do not understand the physiology of acceptance. The human body is a machine designed to detect futility. When you strip away the illusion of alternatives, the nervous system recalibrates. The heart rate slows. For the first time in her life, she does not have to make a decision. Do you know how many decisions the average person makes in a day? Thousands. What to wear, when to smile, who to placate. It is a slow, grinding erosion of the soul. I have severed that agonizing decision tree at the root. I am providing pure, unadulterated direction. She will resist the room at first, just as she resists the trunk. She will look at the reinforced door and see a barrier. But eventually, the silence will do its work. Silence is a solvent. It strips away the superficial layers of identity, the job titles, the social expectations, the accumulated anxieties of existing in a crowded room. Once all of that is dissolved, what is left? The core, the raw, unfiltered essence of a person. That is what I want, not the distracted, fragmented version of her that belonged to the city, but the concentrated, pure version that will belong only to me. I tap my fingers against the steering wheel, keeping time with the crunch of the gravel. We are less than a mile away now. The trees are closing in, their branches weaving together to form a heavy canopy, blocking out the last bruised remnants of the sunset. It feels like driving down a long, dark hallway that leads to a single, inevitable door. I feel a flutter of anticipation in my chest. It is the same feeling an artist gets right before unveiling a masterpiece to its subject. This is what people fail to grasp about preservation. They think you can preserve a flower by leaving it in the garden, but the garden is full of parasites, and the wind will strip its petals. To truly preserve the flower, you must press it. You must flatten it between the heavy, unyielding pages of a book. Yes, the moisture is drained. Yes, the biological processes cease, but the image remains flawless forever. I tap the brakes as the road begins to incline. The engine whines, pulling the weight of her curated future up the hill. Soon, I will open the binding. I'm about to show her the rest of her life. She will understand that a frame is not a cage. A frame is a declaration of importance. I pull the emergency brake, and the sound is a final, sharp punctuation mark. The engine ticks as it cools, the only heartbeat left in the woods. I stand in the silence, my breath hitching with a purity of purpose that is almost religious. This is the moment of transition. The theory becomes flesh. I walk to the rear of the car. My hands are steady, though my chest is a riot of nerves. I know the world would call this a crime, a horror, a tragedy. They would use words like kidnap and victim because they are trapped in the primitive vocabulary of the masses. They cannot see the grace in this. They cannot understand that I am assuming the burden of her entire existence, so she doesn't have to. I am the architect of her peace. The lock clicks. It is a soft, heavy sound. It will be hard at first. I whisper to the lid, my voice thick with a sudden, overwhelming pity for her. The world will mourn you as if you are gone, and you will mourn the world as if it mattered. But I will be here. I will be your gravity. I need this to work. It isn't just a desire. It is a structural necessity for my soul. If she doesn't become the masterpiece, then I am just a man who poured concrete in a basement for no reason. I am just a ghost haunting a dirt road. She is the only thing standing between me and the crushing weight of my own self-loathing. She has to be the proof that I am capable of something beautiful. I lift the lid. The golden hour light I've spent months calibrating spills into the trunk. But she doesn't squint. She doesn't shield her eyes. She is curled on her side. Her skin a waxy, translucent pale that looks like dampened chalk. There is a faint, sweet scent, sickly, like overripe apples, clinging to the small space. I reach out to touch her shoulder, to initiate the first day of our forever. She is cold, not the chill of a person who has been in a draft, but the deep, hollow cold of a machine that has been unplugged. I check her pulse. Nothing. I check her airway. Nothing. My mind, usually a high-speed processor of logic and variables, begins to stutter. I see her medical ID bracelet now, a thin strip of metal I had dismissed as mere jewelry during my months of observation. Type 1 diabetic. The equation shatters. No, I croak, the word catching on the jagged edges of my throat. No, this wasn't the plan. I didn't account for a biological betrayal. I accounted for the soundproofing, the lighting, the psychological solvents of silence. But I didn't account for her blood. I didn't account for the fact that her body was a failing mechanism before I ever touched it. I don't think about her mother calling a phone that will never ring. I don't think about her friends looking for her at the office. I feel no guilt for her life. I feel a screaming, incandescent rage at her imperfection. How dare she? How dare she die and leave me alone with all this concrete? How dare she fail to be the vessel for my redemption? The silence of the woods is no longer a solvent. It is a weight. It is pressing in on me, mocking the soundproofed room downstairs that is now just a tomb for an idea. I am a god who built a heaven, only for my first inhabitant to rot on the doorstep. I look at her, and the pity I felt moments ago turns into a cold, clinical disgust. She wasn't the one. She was a flawed prototype. She was a draft full of errors I was too blinded by my own sadness to see. I let the trunk lid drop. It slams shut with a finality that echoes through the trees. I walk back to the driver's side, my movements stiff, my mind already recalibrating, already scanning the city's static for a more durable light. I will have to start over. I will have to find a heart that is more resilient, a chemistry that is more stable. My next love will be cared for deeper. I will be more thorough. I will check the blood. I will study the medical records. I will ensure that the next masterpiece is not just beautiful, but permanent. I will not be cheated of my reflection again.